my name is Jo. This is my channel, Creative Empowerment Australia, and I am a psychic, I'm a healer, and I'm a teacher. Today I'm doing a pick a card reading, what you need to hear, and this is from the perspective of your animal spirit guides. So this might just be one guide, or this might be, a group of animal spirit guides. But I do feel like we'll kind of get a message from, one in particular. So that's what we're working with today. As always, please like, share and subscribe to my channel if you're interested in the types of videos that I make. And you can also book a private reading with me. There is a link in the description box below. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook, where you can win a weekly half-hour reading with me as well. And they're all done on Zoom, so you can be anywhere in the world. So now let's get into these cards, which you will have seen in the thumbnail, but let's have a closer look at them. So pile number 1, you have the dragonfly, and the dragonfly is reversed there. So if you're being drawn to that, and I'm looking at the wording, which is upside down, which is really drawing my attention. So let's see where that goes. Pile number 2, you actually have 2 cards. So you have the elephant, which is your main card, but then you have another card which is supporting it. Now you will not have seen this in the thumbnail, but you have the crow sitting underneath. So they're both holding some things there. So there's a lot of interesting energy for pile number 2 as well. Pile number 3, you have the crocodile, which again, we've got another reverse card here. And this card is also supported by another card. And I don't know why I'm saying supported, but we'll get into this when we get into it, because I haven't filmed them yet. And I can hear my throat is going with yours, pile number 3. So that's pile number 3 with the egg underneath. And here is a picture of both the cards and the objects. So the first pile we have rhyolite egg, so beautiful earthy crystal here. Lots of potential and possibilities is what is coming to me straight away. We have the second pile here with a lot of protection, black tourmaline, very grounding also, but very much used on that sort of protection and keeping you feeling safe and your home and family protected. Pile number 2. Pile number 3, we have a beautiful, very, very delicate sea urchin shell, and it feels very light when I'm holding it. It also is very empty. So there's some things coming up there for you too, pile number 3. So pile number 3, you're really talking to me already, or your spirit animal guides are. So when you know which pile is calling you, you can jump ahead. You can jump ahead using the timestamps in the description below. And I will see you in your reading. Hi there, pile number 1, if you chose the rhyolite egg and the dragonfly reversed, then this is your reading today. About what you need to know from your animal spirit guide. Now, I'm not getting one particular guide for this group. You have one card. And this one card, unlike the other 2 piles, feels like you're striving and pushing, but I feel like you're getting in a muddle. So that's the first sort of message for this group. And I don't even know where to go. So I'm going to take a deep breath. And we're going to have a look at what messages are coming through from this scattered kind ofness that's going on for you. And we have the crane spirit coming in for you, and this is very wise. Crane is very old energy. Really, it's the kind of energy that people don't take enough notice of, because it's a very beautiful bird, and it's very much that air element, but it incorporates like nearly all of the energies, which I feel I really like for you. It's got the water element in there. It's got the earth element. We've got the air element because it's a flying creature. And this particular one has that red right on the top of its head. So for you, I'm feeling this is actually a really balanced teaching from a guide. So this to me feels a lot like you meeting this animal spirit guide or a guide. So it may, for some of you, it may not be this particular one. It may not be crane. It could be for some of you. But I feel like you're scattered kind of energy. You're like you're doing 100 things, but you're not getting any of them done. You know, like you might have a lot of projects on the go and you can't finish any of them. You're just hovering. You know, it's like a franticness. I'm hovering because I don't know how to finish anything. I don't know how to get it all done. Maybe I don't have enough time. Maybe there's too many demands on my time. That's the dragonfly energy, and it's in the reverse because dragonfly is all about transformation. That's not what this feels like for you. And I get a bit of it's like a wave of a headache when I mention the transformation, because maybe you think you're too busy for the transformation. Maybe you can't surrender to whatever this thing is showing up. And so for some of you, this may be a health challenge. So some of you may be very challenged by a physical health symptom, or this could be mental, like there's a challenge here. That's what this card is talking about, this dragonfly. And it's completely scattering my energy. So it's like, even if I think I get a hold on things, I can't. Now my head is just completely spinning, so not very grounded either, which is why you've picked the rhyolite egg, which is very grounding stone. It's very high vibration too. I can't think of what the rhyolite is about at the moment, but you can look it up and see what that's all about for you. But the colours of this particular egg, they're very grounding. And I think for a lot of you in this pile number one, there is something that you're working on or bringing through or down. Now, I've actually said that to each of the piles in some way, shape or form. For you, this feels different. This feels a bit more linear is the way I want to say it, but I don't understand it either. And now I feel there's a lot of sadness coming through my face and a big sob. So I feel like perhaps you feel like you're misunderstood, misheard, misread, you know, that people don't get you, that there's something that you either that you want to share with people, and this could be friendship wise, or even for some of you this could be writing a book or some sort of creative endeavor, but it's really about connection, and it's about connection to other. Now I'm leaving it as other because it doesn't feel like people, it doesn't feel like spirit. I did talk to you about connecting to a guide, so this is the type of energy that this is, and I feel like you're going through an initiation, which is why you're having this health challenge. Now I need to take a big deep breath because that's a lot. That's a lot in just 2 cards for you, pile number one. But the initiation is big for you, which is why I said that you do need to meet this guide. I'm getting very dry in my throat. And perhaps we are talking about challenge around communication for you, connecting to others through communication, connecting to spirit through communication. The idea of being too busy and not able to connect to spirit, not having the time to, not having the space, you know, all that sort of stuff, being too busy, which we've talked a lot about. The Nine of Wands is that feeling trapped, feeling like you have other people, you know, who are probably constantly attacking you. The 9 is telling us, you can hear my throat is changing. The The 9 is telling us that we're coming to the end of this, and I have another card for you which is going to feel even better. But your boundaries feel like they're constantly being pushed, actually. I know you're very strong, but I also know that you're almost breaking yourself with your strength because you're not getting the support you need. You're giving support to everybody else. Excuse me. And you might be very, very good at helping other people, and you might be, you know, the sort of person that you feel like this isn't you, that you are too strong, and that this you don't feel like people are always coming at you. But I actually feel like this is exactly who you are, because I feel like you're so good at it that you're just used to it. The 2 of Wands, this is a time in your life where things are coming into balance, but it doesn't feel so good because you're used to feeling like you have to defend yourself, feeling like you have to support other people, you know, feeling like you have to lift yourself when needed. But it's time to let whatever this thing is go. Now, again, I don't think I have, I'm going to swear in a minute. The 10 of Swords, this is endings, finality, it's closure over this pile 1. Endings, it's final, it's closure. This is you putting to rest whatever this thing is. So if you have got a health challenge at the moment, or if you have indeed been challenged by health your entire life, I'm not saying that it's going to disappear. What I mean is that emotionally, the sort of the systems of support around you are going to change. And I feel like that is you giving into spirit. That's you giving into perhaps animal spirits. But it's also you meeting this guide. So I want to have a little bit more information about this guide, please. This initiation for you. So we have what coyote, can't even say it. Wise fool, accept your follies. So I wanted to know more about this, you know, what the spirit guide wants to talk about. And I feel like the message here is we've got the coyote with the wise fool, which is accept your follies and find the teaching in them. Now, I talked about you being so busy before, and I feel like the message here to you is that if you create busyness in your life, now I'm using a word that you may not like, if you create busyness in your life, nobody steals the time from you. It is you allowing that to happen. And the Queen of Swords reversed here is, it's like you have to get serious with yourself and understand that if you don't give time to yourself or make time, carve out time for you, then nobody else is going to do that for you. Now, you might be somebody who, you know, you might be a carer for somebody. You might be a mother. You might be in a caring profession. Nobody's going to make time for you unless you make it for yourself. You're important. And I'm saying this very cut and dry. You're important, and it's time that you started taking responsibility, not for everybody else around you, because you're going to do that anyway, but you have to take time for yourself. And it feels like this is important to you, because otherwise you wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be saying the things that I'm saying. This idea of you meeting your own spirit guide or talking to them and communicating with them and, you know, and bringing down that higher wisdom, that higher knowledge, it's important for you, and it feels like it's very going to bring in this well-roundedness for you. It's like you feel like the crane is, you know, secret knowledge is arcane wisdom. You have this ability that is there for you, but you have allowed other things to get in the way, and we all do that. But now it's like it's time for you to acknowledge whatever the thing that has stopped you, whether this is your own physical problems or whether this is, you know, life around you, whatever the heartbreak, whatever the grief, whatever the sorrow is, it's time for you to acknowledge that it's there, but now move on from it, which is the 10 of Swords. It's like, you know, give it its place, give it its time, and then start healing from it. Fox is very much telling me that there is this new day dawning, but also there is a need to be light on your feet, and there's that idea of the snow, but the snow will one day melt, and then that solid ground won't be solid anymore. So snow could typify emotions, spiritual energy, creative energy, whatever it is for you, whatever it is that I'm talking about, this connection for you. This could be connection with other people. This could be you working out. You know, I crave connection with other people more than I realised, and I've glossed over that. I've said I'm too busy for it. I've worked really hard, whatever this is. But I'm coming to understand that it's more important to me than I thought. And perhaps I need to look at the things that I've created in my life that make the busyness, that make me just hover around and not get anything done. And I can feel this in my own life, actually, this need to be busy, this not giving myself the time and the space that I need. And Fox is very wise and very cunning, and you have the wise coyote as well. So this is very adaptable Fox, very able to quickly change things. So this tells me that with the help of this spirit guide, this wise spirit guide for you, you'll be able to see that utilizing and spending time on yourself gives back to everybody in your life. And this is a really important thing, because you're working on yourself. You're working on this transformation, which is what our first card was talking about. Our first card was talking about this transformation with the dragonfly, but it's so out of kilter. It's so not grounded. It's not experiencing its own joy or its own excitement or its own beauty. Like, you know, a dragonfly has iridescent wings. They're a pure delight to even think about how they exist in the world and all the beautiful colours of a dragonfly. But you're too busy to notice any of them. And you're too busy to notice this thing that is emerging in your life or within you, if you give yourself the time and the space. So for some of you, this could be attending a class, a circle, because the guide could literally be a person on this earth. You know, it doesn't all have to be a spiritual guide. It doesn't, to me, it feels that way for a lot of you. But for some of you, this will be a person that walks and talks and that you get this spiritual information through. So it doesn't have to show up in any particular way. This could show up as a new pet that makes you spend more time with it, and you then get to go to the beach, or you get to, I don't know, whatever it is, you watch it and it slows you down. But this is using the wisdom, this sacred knowledge, this arcane knowledge, and it's tapping into it for you. Now, my throat is getting quite sore here talking to you, because you don't give yourself enough time. Nobody is ever going to say, here you go, here, have this whole week for yourself, have this whole day for yourself. Unless you carve out and take the time, you'll never see what this transformation is. And it's really interesting that we're finishing on what the transformation is, because there's no clue to that here. And I find that super interesting because it's a group reading. But you may also want to look at rhyolite and the properties and what it's about, because this could hold some information. And my brain is not going anywhere near it. So, you know, I did say that this group feels quite like my energy, or somewhat, but I do want to just pull one more card for you, and that transformation energy was what I wasn't seeing. So that could be you as well, you know, what you're not seeing. But I'm picking one sort of final information from the spirit guide, animal spirit guide. And And this is the type of energy that you get when you work with your spirit guides, whichever they are, be your own ones or animal spirit guides. They're all yours, sorry. It is squirrel spirit. Believe in yourself. Okay, and there's some beautiful orange tones in here, so very sacral sort of energy, which is creativity, which is desire, which is you bringing yourself into the world, being comfortable in the world, and it is you sharing and connecting with the world. But you have to believe in yourself, because otherwise people are going to believe what you believe about yourself, which is that there's something wrong, there's something missing, that you're not worthy, whatever it is that you've been telling yourself, whatever the Three of Swords has been in your life. The squirrel spirit is here telling you that it's time to transform this. And I heard about addiction as well. For some of you, there may be an addiction to this belief or to other things. So it's time to transform this and really go beyond where you think you're capable of going in life, which feels really nice for you, pile number one. If you've made it all this way to the end, if you would like a private reading, there is a link in the description box below. If you would like to win a private reading with me, you can follow me on Facebook and enter the weekly draw. Make sure that you're subscribed and you like this video. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in a reading in the future. Bye for now. Hi there, pile number 2. If you chose the elephant and the black tourmaline, then this is your reading today. And you're also being supported by the crow. Interesting. Lots of stuff going on there with the elephant and the crow. So the elephant's all about getting stuff done. The elephant is about, now my whole body's becoming breathless just talking about this. The elephant has this desire to bring something into your life. Now I do believe you do have an animal spirit guide that has this kind of feeling about it. I don't know if you're all going to have an elephant as an animal spirit guide. Some of you may. But this to me feels like you have an animal spirit guide who is very determined to help you bring something into the world. Now, if you have a look at those two pictures, you can see that the objects or the animals, one is light and one is dark, and they are surrounded by the opposite of themselves. So the white elephant is surrounded by darkness, and the crow is that light that is shining, coming through. And I feel like you're working through something that's been really challenging for you, and it feels like you've been in the darkness for quite some time, even though you've got a very strong desire to bring this thing through, and your animal spirit guides are acknowledging this. But they also want to share with you that this is coming, through you from the spirit world. But this aspect of it coming through from the spirit world, I believe, is probably something that you either haven't acknowledged, or you don't understand the full weight of where this energy is coming from, and perhaps that's why it's getting stuck as you're trying to get through whatever it is that you want to get through, or bring through whatever it is you want to get through. Now my shoulders have just relaxed now, because it's almost like you've been really trying for a really long time, and you notice that I changed hands. So it's like you're very determined, you're very passionate about this thing that you're bringing through, but you haven't realized that a lot of it is coming through you from spirit. And this is the messenger here, because this is in the reverse. It's telling me that you haven't allowed this to come through, or if you have a little bit, that there is much more for you to sort of like let go of the reins and let it flow. Okay, pile number 2. So we have the Queen of Wands, which makes a lot of sense because I've talked about determination. I've talked about this passion, excitement, and wanting to bring something through. And then the Chariot. So these are all making a lot of sense here. But see how the Chariot's in balance? There's the white and the black Sphinx. I also talked about the white and the black in the animals there. So we're getting that balance right, and that is the thing that I feel like is the big message for you, is getting the balance right. That's what you're being called to do at the moment. That's what your animal spirit guides want you to understand, that at the moment the balance is not quite right. It is time for you to sort of listen more to that spirit guide realm, animal spirit realm, and understand that, stop getting cross with yourself. Stop feeling like you have to defend whatever it is that you're doing. And these are both in the reverse. So it tells me that you know that this practice of yours is not helping you. It's not making things move forward. But it's still there. So I'm still being told to remind you by the animal spirits that it's time for you to put those things down and move on to better ways of being. So now we're looking at more of the crow energy, and this is that idea that spirit has your back, that they want you to show more affection to yourself, to be kinder to yourself, and to understand that whatever it's showing up as, as resistance or a blockage in your life at the moment, it is to bring more kindness and to understand why this is showing up, rather than to think that you're being punished for that feeling. And again, so that I just want to bring that card back up again. Got that Taurian symbol there. So this is being, looking after yourself, eating well, doing things that make you feel better, all of those sorts of things. The other things that are coming from the crow are gratitude and purification. And we both have two Gemini symbols here. So there could be a lot of activity in the mind. You could be really overthinking things. You could be, as I said before, you could have a lot of practices that you're very good at, that have been dismantling or breaking down any progress that you are making. But the elephant is so strong that, it's coming through without a doubt. This is going to come through for you, but you may have been, putting things in your own path that don't work for you. Now, I really love that snapdragon and the pink rose. So very much heart energy, very much universal love. And this is really about being that type of person to yourself, not just to everybody else around you, but allowing yourself the gentleness that comes with that idea of showering yourself with universal love. Because the thing is, you haven't done anything wrong, and you haven't blocked anything coming through. Sometimes you may be your own worst enemy. That's what I want to say. And I do, again, this protection, this idea of protection of yourself. It's important that you understand protection and how to use it, but don't take it overboard, is what I want to sort of bring to your attention. Okay, so we have a few things coming in reverse. So we have Otter Spirit, and Otter Spirit is you are never alone. And Otter is usually about playfulness, but this one is in that heart shape. So again, that universal love, this idea of being kind to yourself and generous of spirit. Take the lead with Stag, and Stag is in the upright here. Now, to me, this feels like you could be someone who really helps others by the things that you've learnt for yourself. So it may be in a professional capacity, but it may not be. It may be in any capacity. It could just be in your friendship group. But I believe that the lessons that you're learning about yourself and about how to be generous and kind with yourself are things that you will then share with others, and this will make a big deal with people in your life. So part 2, we have a lot of mental energy going on with you. We have the 2 Gemini cards. We have 2 other animal spirit cards that are all about the mind. So Pig Spirit, use your mind wisely. Porcupine Spirit in the reverse, time for the beginner's mind. So I do believe that you're probably creating a lot of your own mental conflict with whatever it is that you're doing. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you're doing a big project or that you're, starting a business or any of those things, but it could be some of those things. But this could simply be that you're working on your mental health, or that you're trying to lose weight, or whatever this thing is, right? Your animal spirit guides want you to know that there is actually an easier way for you to go about this. You have the determination, you have the ability to do it, but you've got to use your mind wisely. Instead of hurting yourself, you've got to be kinder to yourself. Pile 2. And the beginner's mind, that's where you really want to maybe turn things on its head, because I've got the because it's upside down. I think perhaps you really want to turn that on its head. So if you've thought to yourself that through thinking, this is the way that I need to get where I want to go, this is the way to get to my goal, instead of doing that, I feel like you need to sort of maybe go backwards, or to go into the shadow of whatever this is. So perhaps, you don't have enough motivation to do whatever it is you're going to do, or perhaps you feel like giving up, or perhaps it feels like it's just too hard. So instead of trying to push through it, which is what the elephant is doing, and by all means the elephant is going to get there, but the crow is telling you that there is a much more simpler, more divine way of getting there. So instead of using your mind to try and solve all the problems, it's like we want to ask Spirit for their help. So we have the 8 of Wands. So the 8 of Wands is you getting where you want to go quickly. And then we have the 4 of Wands reverse. So we're going from an 8 to a 4. So I don't necessarily love that idea. However, the 4 of Wands is a great card, but it is in the reverse. So to me, that feels like a bit of a delay on the celebration that you're looking for. But I feel like my mind's also being distracted by some other options. So I feel like perhaps that's where you may get another delay coming in there for you. But I feel like there's also this other stuff around healing that's coming in for you, that the animal spirits want you to know. And perhaps it is that you won't reach the goal that you're looking for in your desired timing, but that you still will reach the goal. But there'll be some pleasant or needed distractions on the way. So whale spirit, it's all about your soul's path, honor your soul's purpose, and lots of blue there. So, which is the first time that blue has shown up. So we have a lot of mental activity, we have a lot of mind, but we don't have a lot of speaking, speaking your truth. This could even be higher communication with Spirit, which feels like it really kind of, that's what this is for you, that it's, I think you're so desiring to get where you're going so fast. There we go. The King of Wands and the Page of Wands, that you're putting everything else aside. You're not giving yourself time to heal. You're not giving yourself time to rest. It's all work and no play. But you're also extremely hard on yourself. You're going to get where you want to go. There is a strong feeling here of that, but it's about the balance. So if you're, if this is whether you're, whatever your goal is, because there's a big goal here, it is about being kind and gentle to yourself. And it's not about using your mind to solve the problems, pile number 2. It's about knowing that you have the drive and the passion, even if you feel like you have wanted to give up a lot, okay? Because I am getting that, that defeatedness that's there, that, mentally really harming yourself, and that need for you to be protected. So perhaps you're very hard on yourself, but then perhaps you feel the world is hard on you, because you do have something, have this fire in your belly that you're going to do something, and do something quite big. Now, what that is different for everybody here, but stop using your mind to solve the problems. If you have a problem, Spirit wants you to talk to Spirit, your animal spirit guides. They want you to, ask questions and ask them how they can help you. Now I'm getting very hot at the back of my heart. So perhaps you have asked for Spirit's help before and it didn't show up. And it didn't show up how you wanted it to. And you felt betrayed and you felt like, you know, why would you let me go through that experience if you don't, if you don't, it's hard for me to say the words. If I'm not loved, why would you let me do this? That's not even the right way of saying it either. But it's like, because you believe that you're not loved. So that's why you experienced, or you're experiencing what you're experiencing. That's a mouthful, sorry. Okay, so the Two of Pentacles, it's about balance. It's about harmony and balance. And you have to, you've got to do some things, definitely. You're the person that is in control of this life and on the earth plane. But you need to ask for help where it's needed. And so the help can come in many forms. You may not be comfortable asking for spirit help. You may not be comfortable asking for animal spirit help. But I feel like you wouldn't be watching this video if that was the case. I feel like there's a lot more harmonious energy will come into your life if you start working with more grounded energy. So, really earthy kind of energies. And most of your animals are all touching the ground, except for the pig spirit and the whale. But all of the others are touching the ground. Oh, and the crow, sorry. But we have a lot of, needing to be grounded here, needing to understand that your passion, your goals in life, your ability to bring it through, they're all here. And when you're getting frustrated and tired and wanting to give up and feeling like the world is against you, the animal spirits know this and they want to support you because they want to bring through more of that spiritual harmony into your life. So for some of you, this could be taking up yoga or a breathing technique or swimming or something, but it's deep breathing to help you channel the energy that needs to come through. Now, for some of you, that may be, spiritual channeling. For most of you, it won't be. But it's understanding that the mind cannot solve all of your problems. You've got so many mental cards, and I don't mean you're mental, I just mean that they're all about mental energy. So instead of using the mind that thinks it knows all the answers, use the beginner's mind. Use your mind wisely. And this will be where you'll start seeing a transformation, where you start honouring your soul's purpose and understanding that if there's a big brick wall in front of you, then it's time to find a different solution about the way you're trying to move forward, because perhaps that road is blocked to you for a reason and not because you've done anything wrong. Final messages for pile 2, please. Grounding. Which is exactly what I've just been talking about. Grounding. Super important for you at this time because it gets you out of your head. But also I'm noticing that the tarot here is located on the grounding, and the Sun card is the card that you can see. So we have the balance of the energies of the Sun and the Moon, because that brings us into balance. We have the moving forward for you. I keep saying that you're going to be successful in whatever it is that you want to do, whether this is losing weight or whether this is a project or this is a work thing or you're building a house or whatever. But you have to get grounded. You have to be in your body. You have to be present so that you can allow this stuff to come through. If you're all in your head, nothing happens. The seeds don't get planted. The ideas, they don't come to fruition because your desire alone, while it's groundbreaking and you have a lot of it, you have a lot of fire and a lot of passion, pile 2, you need the earth energies to balance that out. So grounding the fire, because the earth can put the fire out, you know, the ground, the dirt can put fire out. So when there's too much, it can subdue it, it can create, and it can control it. So this is the sort of elements that you need to balance the elements out for you, so that you can build the empires or whatever it is that you're working on pile 2. But thank you for being here. Grounding is the way forward for you. If you would like a private reading, there is a link in the description box below. Thank you for being here all the way to the end. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel, and if you follow me over on Facebook, you get the chance to win a private reading with me if you would like one. Bye for now, and I'll see you another time. Hi there, pile number 3. If you chose this sea urchin shell, then this is your reading, and your cards were the crocodile and the egg, the golden egg. I don't remember to move back. Okay, so we've got some interesting energies. We've got that water submerged energy for you. And I'm feeling like this group may be a bit psychic, maybe really working on those sort of submerged things. And your animal spirits are really talking about what it is that you are working on while you're doing that. So you may be somebody who has, you know, interesting practices, either witchcraft or psychic abilities. I may not be hitting the nail on the head there. There may be other things, but I'm not getting other things to say out of my mouth. So you may just be someone who is psychic or spiritual and very in tune to your intuition. But your animal spirits are coming through very watery. So there's a lot of emotions going on, but that's also the flow of that psychic energy. However, it is reversed at the moment. So perhaps you're feeling like, you know, that you're in a lot of either psychic energy going around you. This could be, you know, that you could be doing more psychic development. You could be feeling like other people are closing in on your space. But I feel like your belly is turned up, you know, the crocodile is turned over. So I feel like your belly is exposed and that you're feeling a little bit out of sorts. But the other thing is that while this is all happening, there is some very, very interesting stuff going on. So maybe you're feeling uncomfortable, but maybe that's because you're working on something. And whether this be a project or whether this be yourself and your life, you know, or an artistic endeavor, that's another thing that feels like this is coming out here. But the yellow is very important here, and it doesn't feel like this yellow is of the mind. It feels different, and I don't understand the yellow, so I'm going to ask a bit more questions because I am being drawn to it very strongly, but I'm also not getting so solar plexus. Okay, that makes sense. So that makes a lot of sense. So I don't know what sea urchin is, so you might want to look up the energy of sea urchin. But it's, you know, it's about being safe and having a shell, but also a lot going on inside, that the shell is quite protective, but also quite brittle and fine. So, you know, it's very delicate. So there's an interesting energy going on there about boundaries, and we also have the shell of the egg. So you are working on something, and perhaps this is all around self-esteem, self-awareness, self-belief, that sort of thing. We have the 6 of Pentacles, we have the 6 of Swords. Interesting energy showing up there. So the 6 of Pentacles is usually that balancing out of something. Giving and receiving is usually balanced with the 6 of Pentacles. Sometimes it means that we get something from somebody else, or we might be giving something to other people. But to me, the message here is that there's something coming into balance, because we've got the 6 twice. 6 of Swords is often talking about you leaving something behind. And that's interesting because as I was talking about that, I'm pulling some more cards for you, and we have Squirrel, which is preparation, and then Fox, which is adaptability. And so the rubbish is just being collected here. So that's interesting for you. So we have get ready for big changes with the squirrel, preparedness, sorry. Yeah. And fox is about adaptability. So fox is adapting to the changes. So we do have the Six of Swords. This is you leaving a situation. This is you doing something. This is you leaving something behind. This is you, perhaps it's a move, perhaps it's a holiday, perhaps this is a work situation, but it's you exploring. It's you discovering some new things. So there's this need for you to be prepared, to be adaptable, because you are working on yourself at this time. The golden egg is a really great promise, and I haven't pulled cards about that yet. We're still working on this crocodile, on this feeling submerged, like your belly's on show for everybody. And you know, when an animal is, like a dog, is relaxed, it'll show you your belly because it wants you to pat its belly. But this doesn't feel comfortable to me. This feels like, not that I'm being forced, but kind of, you know, it's not my choice either. So there may be some things about this change for you, this leaving something. You may have not completely had all of the options been open to you, pile number 3. You may have, your hand may have been forced here. You may have feel like that there's somebody else pulling the strings or pushing the buttons. However, with both the Six of Swords and the Six of Pentacles, I actually believe that this is where you're meant to go. This is a place of discovery for you, but you probably wouldn't have done this discovery if someone didn't make your life uncomfortable the way that they have. Because we have also the Creator in this pile, which is the No card. So, you know, there is a bit of destruction going on. There's the storm being created around you. There is, you know, even an obstacle behind your back. There are storm clouds and there is lightning and rain happening. However, we still have the rainbow. So we have the rainbow in this card. Rainbow, rainbow. And then we have the rainbow behind her head. Oh, I'm not good at making this focus. So there is lots of rainbow energy around you, and the rainbow gives you all the colours. So this idea of you working on your self-esteem, your self-worth, who you are in the world is being fed by all of your other chakras. So that for me feels like a really strong aspect for you. Like I feel like you're bringing in some harmony into your own system, but it's taking you out of your comfort zone to get there. So we have the Empress, which is abundance, which is, I want to say luck as well. I feel that this is luck. And then we have the Knight of Swords. So this is, you know, that change energy. This is highs and lows, tension, conflict. But it also feels like you could be being pushed, you know, that out of your comfort zone, like I said. And it's that ups and downs. So you may be feeling like you're on a knife's edge at the moment because this Knight is pushing your buttons. This also could mean that there are communications that are pushing your buttons at this time for you. Now, the next card is the Two of Swords, Pentacles. And this is where you feel like you're not having the decision. You don't feel like you're the one who's making this decision. But this is a group reading, so the way I'm feeling this energy may not be how it's showing up for you. You've been given a choice or a decision to make. It didn't feel like you got all of the choices that you would normally want, but it does feel like it's the right thing to be going on in your life right now. So I'm just wanting to know what the golden egg is working on or supporting, you know, while this crocodile energy is happening. Okay, so we have the stag. So the stag's that masculine energy. Look at all those antlers and the trees. There's a lot of connection to spirit here, and I did talk about that with you. I said that you could be a psychic or a you might define yourself as whatever, intuitive. But this is that connection, and I'm understanding it. Look how I'm stopped in my tracks. The stag is stopped in his tracks. I'm going to use the masculine here. But there is this wonderful day approaching. I think it's starting, or it's going down. I don't know which one it is actually. But you're hearing the call, and the call is disruptive. Okay, so I just want to keep putting that in. This is disruptive. So you've now got the mother and the father energy here, which is nice. I like that for you, but it's disruptive, and I'm going to keep saying that because you're working towards your freedom. You're working towards you feeling free in your own life, in your own body. The horse energy is, it says you always have a choice. So we're back to the choice again. So even though you don't feel like these choices are the ones you would make, you wouldn't even take this situation and work with it. I want you to stop thinking about that. I want you to take that out of the picture, pile 3, because the golden egg is you working on your divine masculine, for starters. It's you working on your freedom of your very soul, almost, is how I think about it. And then we've got the seal energy. Look, there's that rainbow energy up again in the sky there. So it's like the sky's the limit for you at the moment, and it's bathed in that yellow energy. Again, the solar plexus. Now, the Selkie, I think they used to call the seal. Oh, I'm going to have to read this to you because it feels like exactly what I've been talking about. Okay, now I'm hoping that's in focus for you. This card calls to you from the seal people of the sea, the Dan Nan Ron. The song of the seals upsets and frightens many who hear it. Its mournful and its human sound stirs the heart of the listener to the call. It is the call from the sea, from our unconscious, from the depths. It calls us from the waters of our birth, from our beginnings on earth, from our brothers and sisters in the animal realm who are closer to us than we dare imagine. We fear this call because we feel we may be drowned. That makes so much sense for you, because this idea of you in the water doesn't feel comfortable being turned upside down. We may be overwhelmed by our feelings, but do not let this intellect imprison your heart, as the human imprisons the Selchi spouse, the magical seal. Opening yourself to the promptings of the unconscious, of the feminine, of your dreams and your longings will bring transformation, healing, and love to your life. Now, I absolutely love that, because to me, that sums up everything that we've been talking about. And now we have the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So your golden egg is you working on the perfect balance for you, but it's understanding that it may feel terrifying to be working into this freedom for yourself, and I can see that that's not. So your desire for your freedom, it means you always have this choice, but it may feel, and the work that you are doing may feel so frightening. You may be working really with that sort of kidney energy, and I'm talking about a lot of water here. Now you also, next 2 cards of these animal spirits for you are otter and frog. Again, water energy. Animals that are at home in the water and home on the land, especially the amphibian. But the otter is also about playfulness. So to me, these 2 cards are really talking to you about the medicine that you're working with and the animal spirits. Like that seal, the Selchi, it's telling you about the animal spirits all around you, that they're there to support you. And you may not yet be comfortable in this water element, but it is for you. And you soon will be, or you will work towards being. Okay, because I do have a working, the 8 of Pentacles here for you as well, which is about working. But these 2 water cards, they're really about feeling at home with the flow of water. So this could be psychic energy, creativity, emotional stuff. I like how I use that word. But the otter is about playfulness and flow, going with the flow and really enjoying yourself. And the frog is about letting everything wash over you and understanding that, you know, as soon as you leave the water, you'll dry out again, and then you'll need to get back into the water. You know what I mean? Like, not that you can't survive long out of the water, but it's a necessary component for you. And it going into the depths of the emotion that you're going into is the thing that you're freeing yourself. You know, you're freeing the word birthright came into my head, and I don't really understand what that means, but for some of you that might make sense, so I'm just going to leave it right there for some of you. You're working on your golden egg, you're working on your self-esteem and whatever it is that you're bringing into the world. But you always have a choice, but you want this freedom. And so it's important for you to work through this emotionally uncomfortable time that you're going through. And the animal spirit guides are very, very close to you. There's a lot of rainbow energy, which again, I want to explain it to you in this way. And that is that the rainbow energy, the colors, the different rays, they're all supporting you so that you can build this very strong boundary, this very strong shell. It may be delicate, but it's strong enough to house the insides, to change and to adapt, like the fox did, and be ready for these big changes. Some really cool energy happening to you, pile number 3. I do understand that it's very challenging, and there may be a lot of fear coming up with this water element. You know, talk to your animal spirits, ask them for help, ask them for support, ask them for signs that help you show that you're on the right track at this point in time, which I'm pretty sure that you'll get, because you're really getting the messages about when you're not on track, but you still also have the choices. The choices are there for you to make, and make sure that you're making them not from the fear. When the fear rises, take a few deep breaths and you know, allow your body to settle before you make the choices. Thanks for being here all the way to the end. If you are not following me on Facebook, that is your chance to win a private reading with me. If you would like a private reading, there is a link in the description box below. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next reading. Bye for now.